Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We are so happy you have joined us today. Today, we're going to be talking about filling our pot of gold. So when someone says to you, what are you going to fill your pot of gold with? Automatically, we would think of money, cash, gold coins, dollar bills, change. That is what is represented every time you see that pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so I thought this would be kind of a fun analogy. Now, I want you to think of your own personal pot of gold. What would you fill it with other than cash, other than money? If we had to fill our pot with things that are truly gold, truly golden, I bet money would probably be really low on your list of things that are truly important to you. We all know the old saying, all that glitters is not gold. What we're talking about today is exactly that. So often on our frugal journey, we are focusing on saving money, saving cash. And absolutely, that is what this channel is about. Ways to live below your means, ways to have a full life while spending less money. You know the drill. We do it here every week. But I want you to think of something now. When we're done with this video, I want you to get a piece of paper and pencil out. And I want you to prioritize things that are truly important in your life. What would be number one that is most important in your life? I bet 99.9% of you would not say money. I bet it wouldn't come in as number two or number three. What are the things that are truly important to you that you would want to put in your pot of gold? Now, of course, there would be money in the pot of gold because that is important as well. We need food, we need shelter, we need clothing, medical insurance, pay our bills on time, absolutely. And those are the essentials. And then everything else is all the fluff that goes around it. Now, if you are paying down debt, that's wonderful. If you are saving up to retire, wonderful. Vacation, a new car, whatever it is, that's all part of it. But we do need to focus on the first three things that are on our list. And I can almost bet they would be something like family, good health, a home and food and clothing, essential things. I bet not a lot of you put buy a new Ferrari on number one. And sometimes on our frugal journey, we have to revisit those priorities. We have to make sure we are grounded in our frugal journey. And once you have your priorities listed, then guess what? Saving money becomes that much easier. You know what you're saving for. You know that you are saving to be with family. You know you are saving to have good medical insurance or to pay off your home. Your money needs to go where your priorities are. What is important to you? And when we start taking our eyes off those priorities and looking out the little fluff around us, our big pot of gold starts being filled with things that are really not important, that cost us money and they don't add up to anything. When we fill our pot of gold, we need to fill it with things first and foremost that are extremely important. Our family, our friends, our loved ones, good health, good food, housing, things like that. That's what we're working for. That's what we're saving for. Then once we have met our needs, that is where the rest of the money can go. But sometimes our priorities can get a little mixed up and we have to revisit them. And we have to say, what is more important? Every frugal journey is different. But we have to identify those priorities and live our life and fill our pot of gold according to them. We know those tried and true ways to save that we talk about every week. Even implementing all those tried and true ways to save money, we have to make sure the money we are saving is going towards things that are really a priority in our lives. And when we do that, life simplifies. Life becomes easier. Our frugal journeys become less hectic, less frantic, because we know exactly where we want our money to go. Fill your pot of gold with those things that are truly golden to you. So we hope that was encouraging. We hope it was motivating. Now, another way we can motivate ourselves on our frugal journey, and we have been delving into this a lot, Paul and I, is simplifying. Slowing down, being present in the moment, making life easier all the way around, because we have so much stuff going on, as we know all of you do. So simplifying our lives, make our lives calmer, make our lives more relaxed. One way to do that is 10-minute simple decluttering tips, and we encourage you to do this. Now we're going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. One of the ways you can be thrifty and save money and bless others is by sending someone a greeting card, whether it be for a birthday, an anniversary, get well, thinking of you. And cards are expensive, and I know a lot of you go to the Dollar Tree and get 2 for $1, which is a great deal. But what I do is when I see them in big packs at flea markets or thrift stores, and I also get them free in the mail from a lot of organizations. So what's happened again, like with my Christmas cards, I am completely overwhelmed with cards. And this is chaotic. This is not calming. And when you want to send someone a card, you don't want to have to dig through 30 cards to find one that is appropriate. Now, I do have them separated by birthday, blank cards. I have thank yous, thinking of you, etc. But I've got to go through them because not every card is going to be appropriate or something I'd want to say to someone. So I am going to go through this now, and I encourage you, if you have any kind of stockpile of anything, whether it be greeting cards, craft materials, old spices in your cabinet that are way past their due date, whatever it is, take 10 minutes and declutter a spot. It not only saves you money because you'll know exactly what you have. You're not going to need to buy a birthday card because you know you already have a beautiful one. It's just a simple way to save money. Aren't these beautiful? A viewer made me these. I'm going to start going through these right now. Perfect example, chill out, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I just wouldn't send that to someone. That's not who Paul and I are, chill out, it's your birthday. It doesn't even sound like us. So what I am doing to the left side here is I'm making a pile of cards that I'm going to put together for goodwill. And I'm sure these will bless someone else. How much better is this? The lid fits on beautifully. Everything is not bulging out. And now I have cards that I can donate and bless other people with. So this is just a win-win. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, declutter an area, make your frugal life easier, and know exactly what you have. I decreased my surplus greeting card supply. Now when I go to pull out a card, I don't have to read each one to see if it's appropriate for Paul and I. We now have made a pile, and that can bless someone else. And I love to be able to do that. So take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and declutter just a little area of your life. Simplify, slow down. On our frugal journey, these things all factor in together. Because when we are calmer, when we are less stressed, we tend to spend less on impulse purchases, on things we don't need, on things we don't really want. Every time we can simplify and every time we can slow down and be present in the moment is actually like another dollar saved. So really think about that. Let's get into the kitchen now. We promised you last week we would show you how to make a Crockpot pork loin with sauerkraut and apples and carrots, potatoes. This recipe is so easy, and the original will be linked down below, but We always tweak recipes a little bit. This meal was going to Paul's parents. So we're going to show you how we made it. Then we're going to head over there. They were a little camera shy, but I just want you to know they are doing really well. And we bring Dixie, and that just brings so much light and joy into their lives. You'll see in the video. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the kitchen. This is such a delicious, easy recipe. I will link the original down below, but we're kicking it up a little bit. And I think you're going to love it with the addition of some carrots and potatoes to make it a complete meal. First thing we're starting with is a 2.5 pound pork loin, boneless tenderloin. The recipe calls for 3 pound, but I think this is fine. We need 1 cup of apple juice. It adds such a delightful taste to this recipe. 1 firm apple that you're going to slice up. I am using Fuji, but you can use something that cooks well. You don't want to use like a Macintosh that'll get super mushy or red delicious. You want to use a firmer apple. Granny Smith is always good as well. We need 1 clove of garlic, a small onion, a can of sauerkraut. This is 14.5 ounces. We are going to drain and rinse this. And then we just have a handful of little potatoes. These are like 8 little potatoes. And then we have 2 carrots, which we are going to cut up. Tell me this doesn't look like a little beluga whale, doesn't it? Woo! Just having fun in the kitchen. Paul said it looked like baby shark. We're going to start prepping this recipe. The first thing we're going to do is take the meat out of the package. We're going to rinse it, dry it well, and then we are going to brown it on top of the stove. So come on along. My package of pork loin came in 2 pieces, but that is fine. We're just going to adjust the cooking time. Now, what you can also do is tie the 2 pieces together with some food safe cooking string. But we are going to leave this just like this. It'll just take a shorter amount of time to cook. I'm going to season the loins with a little bit of salt and pepper. In my heavy bottomed pot, I put about a tablespoon of olive oil. And then I'm going to put the meat in the pan and brown both sides of the meat. 4 minutes each side. Be careful, it does splatter when you put the meat in. So these brown for just about 4 minutes and they're releasing nicely. So I know that's a good brown. Now we're going to turn it over. And we're going to do it for another 4 minutes on this side. This does splatter, so please use caution. I just put the pork loins in the crock pot. Now what I'm going to do, because there is so much flavor left on the bottom of this pot, just added a little bit extra of apple juice, and I'm just going to deglaze the bottom of this pan. Carefully, because this pot is hot, I just poured all the deglazing liquid into the crock pot. And all we did was brown the pork. It is nowhere near cooked. And I'm going to take the 1 cup of apple juice, pour it in. Here's our onion that Paul cut into fine strips. We're going to place that all around it. The house already smells amazing. I know my in-laws are going to love this. And then we also cut up the apple into about this size pieces. And we're going to lay those in as well, all around the meat. And I'm also going to take 1 clove of garlic and put that on top as well. I took the can of sauerkraut, I rinsed it and drained it under cold running water. And now I'm just going to take it and put it all over the top of the meat. And this is going to make an amazing gravy as well. Cover it and put it on high for about 3 to 4 hours. We want to make sure the pork is thoroughly cooked. In about an hour and a half, I'm going to add the cut up potatoes and the cut up carrots to this as well. This has been cooking for just about an hour and a half. You can see how much juice this is making. Now we want to make this a complete meal for my in-laws. We took some carrots. We just cut them into what would be equivalent of like a baby carrot you'd buy in a bag. And we're just going to add those. And then we just have some potatoes that we chunked. We're going to add those. And we're going to push them down into this broth the best way we can. Careful, this is super hot. And as the meat continues to cook and shrink, these will go down even further, but they will still cook beautifully like this. We're going to cover it, continue to cook it on high, about another hour and a half. We'll check it then. This cooked for just about 4 hours on high. Every crock pot is different, so you go by yours. Make sure the potatoes are done and the internal temperature of the meat has to be over 160 degrees. You can see how delicious. Look at the broth here. So Paul's going to slice the meat up. We're going to put the carrots and potatoes around it. We'll show you what it looks like, and then we're heading to my in-laws. Girl, go ahead, tell them you're here.
Get that baby.
I got a call from my mother-in-law the very next day. She was like, oh, Emmy, that meal was so good. And I also sent a loaf of summer squash bread, yellow squash bread. If you remember when we were in Lancaster about 2 weeks ago, we bought a half a pack of yellow squash for $1.99. There was like 8 squash in there. So I've been making squash bread and they love that as well. One of the things we like to put in our pot of gold is being able to bless others, to have the funds, the means, the time, especially. You can't lose. It's such an important part of any frugal journey, we think anyway. Today's question of the day: what would be your top 3 things that would go into your pot of gold? Tell us down below. If you don't want to give us 3 things, give us your top 2. But let us know what would go into your pot of gold. I know it would encourage us all. We all want the same thing: to live below our means, to be healthy, to be happy, to have the essentials we need. We thank you so much for spending this time with us. We ask that you please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Come on in and be part of our frugal family. We ask you to be well, we ask you to be safe, and above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.